6:37 a.m. and I thought what better way to start this day than to share with you one of my favorite recipes as it relates to making blueberry muffins. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that claim, hey, my blueberry muffins are the best. I'm obviously going to make that claim as well. I personally love this because it is only going to take one particular bowl for you to go ahead and make these particular blueberry muffins. And that, in my opinion, is a win because we like less dishes around here. So if you are new here, definitely feel free to interact with me. It is bright and early, like I said, but we're going to get these muffins going. As you can see right here off to the side, I do have some blueberries that are fresh blueberries. I went ahead and cleaned already, strained them in the strainer, rinsed off any extra materials. Personally, one of the ways that I like to clean my blueberries is to put them in some water from the sink, go ahead and obviously strain them, but also let them sit a little bit in the water with a little bit of baking soda. I like to always share tips here. So definitely, like I said, with this particular live, take your time, ask questions in between. I will have everything in the description. So definitely make sure you look at that description because it's going to have everything you need to make this recipe at home. The great part with this particular recipe is it's very adaptable. I have used this with strawberries. I've also used this doing peaches, so many different options. So whatever you have available in your particular area, definitely use that fruit. I personally like to use fruits that are in the season for that particular season because obviously you're going to have a lower cost to this particular recipe and you're also going to have amazing flavor. So without further ado, again, we do have the blueberries already cleaned. We cleaned them in the baking soda. We cleaned them all off. They are nice and fresh. I'll give you a close-up of those. I'm using about 1 pint full of blueberries today. You could use frozen as well. I just would suggest to cook these muffins a little bit longer. I have tested this recipe with particular frozen wild blueberry ones. That is also on my page, kind of sharing with those tips if you decide to go that route. But without further ado, we're going to get our muffin recipe started. We, like I said, are going to set these blueberries down over here to the side. They still have a little bit of water in them. As you can see, I got a little bit of water in there. I'm going to rinse that out or wipe that out. And then we're going to go ahead and start measuring the actual batter. And get that a little dry. Now, we're going to get our bowl ready. We're going to start to measure our flour. I will say that I do also have all of my details of where I like to actually get and what particular brands that I like to use for my food and my recipes. That will also be in my Amazon storefront. So if you want to take a look at that, you can go ahead and do that. The flour that I particularly love to use and only use in my cooking, and this is not at all sponsored in any way, is going to be Bob's Red Mill flour. If you see that at the grocery store, I highly suggest that you get that flour. I absolutely love it in a lot of my baking. We are going to use 2 cups worth of flour here. You'll see I do have a spoon that I'm loosening up the actual flour in, so that way I can go ahead and add it in precisely to my 1 cup. Now we want this to be perfect when it comes to baking. Measurements matter. Precision matters. This is a really, really fluffy type of flour. You can see I'm just making sure it's leveled off. Need a tad bit more. So if you see me being very particular about recipes, there's a reason, right? When cooking, precision does matter, but especially with baking. We have a perfectly even 1 cup. We're going to add that in there. We're going to add in our 2nd cup of flour. Again, this is a 1 bowl recipe for muffins. Do the same. Level it up like so. We got our 2nd cup. Next thing that we're going to need to add in is going to be our sugar, and I just noticed I didn't put my sugar over here to the side, so let me go ahead and grab that real quick for you guys, so that way we have the sugar in there. Now when it comes to sugars, I particularly love to have a natural sugar. There's a lot of sugars that are out on the market, and you may be thinking, what does a natural sugar mean? This particular one does not use bone char. It is a vegan sugar. There is such a thing. This particular one is by Zolka. I particularly love this one as well. Stand by it, and I only cook with this particular sugar. Now I do notice I got a little bit of flour left there. It's kind of stuck in there, so let's make sure we have a precise measurement. Next, we're going to add in our sugar. Let me pour this off to the side and get that one out of the way. Yes, I have a little mess here, so I'm going to clean that up because I don't know about you, but I've always am one of those people that likes to clean while I cook. So I have a clean surface area while I'm cleaning. So we will do that even in the live streams. All right, let's go ahead and get our sugar. We're going to measure that sugar out. Now, if you have chunks of sugar like I have in here, just go ahead and just use your fingers and kind of just smooth it out. Again, this is a pure sugar, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a minute. You see that huge chunk? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get that nice and thin. A lot of the sugars that are out there or at your grocery stores, they are not pure. This one you can get at the grocery store. At some grocery stores, they carry it. Again, this is by Zolka. Again, you'll see that I'm tapping this inside of my cup. Like that. Pressing down to make sure we have a precise measurement, okay? This particular sugar, you can see it is not super white. They use a bleaching agent to make the sugar super white. That is why it is not, and it's actually animal bones. I know, kind of disgusting. But this is the sugar that I'm using. This is going to be the Zolka sugar. We're going to go and add to our 2 cups of flour that 1 cup of sugar, okay? Dry ingredients are going to go with dry ingredients. Then we're going to go ahead and add in our wet ingredients for this particular muffin recipe. Welcome on in. If you're just coming in, welcome, welcome. I'm Gwen. We are doing a blueberry muffin recipe. This is going to also have a strudel on top. Best part is we're going to be using this one bowl, okay? I don't know about you, but I absolutely love cooking, but I hate the cleanup sometimes. So this particular recipe and a lot of my recipes are going to be just that, simple recipes that are also not going to have you having, 20 bowls going around, okay? Next thing, what we're going to add into this 2 cups of flour as well as sugar is our baking powder. Okay, we're going to add 2 teaspoons worth of baking powder. And don't worry, if you're not jotting all this down, it is totally fine. This is going to be in the description for you to go ahead and make. Now, the best thing about this recipe, in my humble opinion, not only to the fact that it is 1 bowl, is that it's also very versatile with whatever you have on hand as relates to fruits. Today, we're using blueberries. You can use peaches, whether they're canned, fresh peaches. I've used this with strawberries. This recipe is super versatile, okay? We're going to use 1 teaspoon's worth of baking soda. Do make sure when you are baking, okay? Little chefy tip, make sure that you're taking the time to actually make sure that your baking soda is not expired. A lot of times you may be thinking to yourself, what is going on with my recipe? And maybe you didn't mess it up, just maybe. It may just be the fact that your ingredients are expired. That goes with your flour, that goes with your baking soda and your baking powder, okay? If you guys are enjoying this live, which I hope you are, we're gonna give this a little mix. Do me a favor and let YouTube know that you're awake. I know it's early. In Southern California, it is 5:46 this morning. We are whipping up these blueberry muffins for the day. For my little ones, I'm going to surprise them. They absolutely freaking love these muffins, and so does my husband. If you're new here, let me know where you're seeing this live from and talk with me, okay? I promise you I will not bite. I promise you. Okay, we're giving that a good little mix. Now we're going to add in our salt, okay? We're adding in our salt because with the sweetness of those blueberries and the sweetness of the muffin, it is also important to add in our salt. I personally love in a lot of my recipes to use a sea salt. We are going to be using for this particular recipe a 1/2 teaspoon's worth of salt, okay? I personally love the Morton, but whatever is your personal favorite, do that. Again, with baking, we're all about precision. You will see that I'm literally going all the way and making sure I have that full 1/2 teaspoon. Precision matters, okay? We can adjust with other sorts of cooking, but when it comes to baking, it is important for us to have precision, okay? We're gonna add in that salt. Next is going to be 1 tablespoon worth of cornstarch. Again, everything will be in that description, so make sure you take a look at that, peek at it, make sure you see it. We're gonna add in our 1 tablespoon's worth of cornstarch to our mix. Again, everything, as you can see, what we're putting in here is going to be dry. Our flour, I personally love Bob's Red Meal, but use whatever is good for your home and what you can work with. I'm about that. We make the adjustments. Okay, so we got our flour, we have our sugar, we have our baking powder, our cornstarch, we have added our salt. Now it is time for us to add in our wet ingredients, okay? First wet ingredient that we're gonna add is going to be our 1/2 cups of melted butter, okay? Make a little well there. And I wanna make sure, again, we get all the ingredients blended into this batter. I'm going to scrape out all that excess butter here to make sure that we have everything in that bowl where we melted it. Now, don't overdo it when it comes to your butter either. You don't want it to be too hot. I personally like to melt it while I'm combining everything, just to make sure it has a little bit of time and it's not like boiling hot in there. Okay, that makes sense. Next thing we're going to add in is going to be soy milk or almond milk. This particular recipe is going to be dairy-free. If you're not dairy-free, it's totally fine. I still welcome you here, okay? We're going to add 3/4 cups of the almond milk is what I'm using today. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, okay? Next is going to be our vanilla extract. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Again, use what you have on hand. This can be regular vanilla extract, Madagascar, whatever you have. There's a Mexican vanilla that I also like with this particular recipe that I have used. Again, use what you have on hand. Again, this is going to be our base. We're then going to add in 2 cups of whatever you're going to be using for this particular recipe. In this recipe, I'm going to be using blueberries. Like I said, this is going to be your base. So if you are deciding to put in whatever fruit it is, strawberries, blueberries, peaches, whatever the case may be, go ahead and do that at this point. But before we do that, I'm going to take my whisk out, because with this, I like to whisk the dry ingredients, and then the wet ingredients, I like to just fold it in. So let's get that done. I like to get in the middle here, get you nice and close. Use a little bit of that arm strength, okay? And it's gonna just start to form. You see how it's starting to form? Again, one of the reasons why I love this particular flour is it's so fluffy. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. When you're mixing it, it's so satisfying. Almost like when you're a kid and you play with Play-Doh. Satisfying? That like the texture feels good? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let me know down in the comments if you use a particular flour that you love, or let me know what your favorite muffin is. So that way we can try to do that on live, or I will film it for you guys, okay? Lots of recipes. Obviously, baking season is here with the holidays. I cannot believe we are, what, 22, 24 days, guys, away from Christmas? This would also be a great gift. I don't know about you, but obviously with things, I like to give homemade gifts, okay? I think there's something about just knowing that it came from someone's hands, that they either picked something from their garden, made me something from scratch. Maybe it's these muffins, you know? See how fast that formed? Fast, right? Again, this is our base. We want to make sure we go literally to the bottom of that to make sure all that flour is combined. All that sugar is combined in that butter. Now you may hear me like breathing a little hard here because you need to put a little bit of elbow work in there. Get that whisk going, okay? See that flour that's down there? You don't want that. You want to make sure it's evenly combined. Now, if you find these lives helpful, let me know, whether you're watching me in live or you're watching and catching the replay on the Simply Dish channel, let me know because I have really been on the fence about having more of these lives. If these are helpful, I'm definitely going to do it for my community. I don't know if it's always going to be at 5 a.m., but I'm trying to find that like balance of helping you guys and seeing what time works for you guys. I'm going to try to just go live. That's why notifications are obviously important to have on. So that way, you know, I am a busy mama like everybody else, busy mama of 3. And my kids are doing sports, you guys, softball and baseball. And I feel like I'm always at the field and I'm trying to either literally edit and do photos and whatnot so you guys can see what we're cooking or whatever tips we're doing in the garden, okay? So let me know if you guys, like I said, are enjoying this live. Give us a thumbs up, please. Your girl is up here literally behind the phone trying to make sure that you guys have some tips and recipes as we get into this holiday season, okay? I appreciate you guys. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add these gorgeous blueberries that I picked up at Costco. I'm gonna be adding this to the garden. A blueberry bush is like on my list for this coming spring. For right now, we're gonna go and toss it. Here comes the satisfying part. You ready? I love when they do this. Let's add those little babies in there. This is gonna be 2 cups worth of fruit. Again, if you got strawberries, peaches, whatever your favorite muffin is going to be, we're gonna add those in. Here comes the satisfying part. You ready? Here we go. When they fold into there. Gently do this. So as you can see, these blueberries are huge, okay? You don't want to overdo it and smash them. Simply take that spatula, fold those babies in, okay? Fold them in. Ooh, what is that, right? This is going to be blueberry muffins. Because why? We're feeling fancy this morning, okay? I woke up early with my hubby, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to save you one. Don't you worry. Cherry Skills 143. I got you. I'm gonna eat one, okay? I'm gonna eat one for you. Beautiful part about this, like I keep saying, is this is one bowl. We're not dirtying up a bunch of stuff, okay? So you see these muffins. If you saw the photo and it enticed you to come in, I promise you they will be looking like this at your home, okay? This is one of my top recipes on my page. That and my peach cobbler has been like a thing y'all are loving, okay? Everybody loves this particular recipe because it's so versatile and it's super freaking good. Let's get this strainer out the way because we clean while we cook around here. We ain't being messy, okay? No messy kitchen. We're gonna look like pros here. Next thing we gotta do is we gotta get these and put them in their tins. Now, if you wanna do paper tins and you're gifting these, you can do that, okay? Today, I'm gonna be using these mini ones that are silicone. So that way, I'm not wasting no paper. But again, we want to make it comfortable for your home. Okay, here's our batter. I'm going to move stuff around here so that way we can get these in here. Now, I particularly love, here's a little drop of milk in there. Let's make sure we got that. I particularly love to gift, like I said, people gifts of food. That is my love language. If that's your love language, let me know in the comments. Okay, I love to give people food. So this could be one of those things that you want to gift for the holiday. You put it together with something, my friends. It's completely up to you. I have already sprayed these silicone little molds. I love these because I have little ones, okay? And I have my husband who likes to devour and make him feel himself feel better because he only had a couple of these, okay? If that is you and you're like my husband, it's okay. We listen and we don't judge around here, okay? We love you regardless. We are going to be using these silicone ones, though. I love them. It's definitely reusable. You don't have to worry about buying a bunch of papers, okay? But if you are gifting them, I would say use the papers, obviously. It's up to you. You could put them in a little tin. They're easy and convenient. Now, what I'm going to do with this particular blueberry mix is I'm going to use an ice cream scooper, okay? I like to make sure that everything is perfectly measured. You will continue to hear me say that because baking, it matters, okay? With precision, okay? We want to make sure that each of these blueberry muffins gets the right amount. Here comes the other satisfying part. Right amount of blueberries to batter ratio. I'm going to simply put that baby in there. And I got these blueberries are huge. Look how big those guys are. These babies are huge. I'm going to because I've never done them really with this. I'll be honest with you. We're doing it today though, because I want to make them into smaller ones. And we're just going to press down the batter in the blueberries. Okay. That's a whole crap load of blueberries, but hey, I'm here for it. We're about that. We're about that life to make sure we get all those chunks of blueberries. We are, let me move this stuff around here in the back. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I want to make sure that we get a little bit more incorporated with that batter. See? Okay. Just like that. Okay. Toss it and fold it in. Fold it in. Just like that. If you're just joining me, we are making some delicious 1 bowl blueberry muffins. All the details will be in that description. So make sure that you take a look at it. I do also have my website if you want to print it out and do your thing there. No worries, okay? Here is that batter. I needed to combine it just a little bit more. It was driving me crazy that those huge chunks of blueberries were just over there, okay? Let's get this situated so you guys can see. We're going to get in there, get that batter. Again, we do not want to smush those blueberries. So we want them to be nice, even ratio to the blueberries in the batter. That makes sense. I have already already sprayed my muffins tins that I'm going to be using. If you do not want to do it this way, that's totally fine. See, I got a little bit too much in that one. That's the beauty of live, you know? Things are going to happen in real time, and that's okay. We're also going to be making a strudel for these, so if you want to do the strudel or if you want to stop at this point, totally fine. I'm feeling like since I'm doing the smaller ones, I'm just going to slide it in. I feel like that scooper is giving me a little bit too much. Again, we adjust in our cooking as we need to. Okay. We're going to get that tin because these blueberries are huge. We're going to add those in. Make sure we get a nice blueberry. Now let me know if you guys are here live or like I said, on the replay, let me know what is your favorite type of muffin. Is it blueberry? Is that what enticed you to come in here? Are you a blueberry lover like myself? Because I'm always down for a blueberry one. Now, when strawberries were in season, because again, I like to do seasonal cooking. No judgment if you still want to get non-seasonal out in, fruits and whatnot. But when strawberries were in season, I'm particularly growing strawberries this season. I was in love with making these. They do not last. Same thing with peaches. They're freaking amazing. Okay, we're going to add little by little. So I'm kind of impartial. I don't know. I'm a strawberry girl though, and I'm a blueberry girl. See, that one goes coming off. Don't judge me over here. I'm going to wipe my hands because it drives me nuts when I'm all sticky. Now, if you'd want to stop, like I said here, you can. We're going to add these into the oven. I have my oven over here at 375. We're going to bake these. What do I have these for? I'm looking at my notes here, 20 to 25 minutes. Now, it's going to depend on, obviously, the size of what you're cooking. If you're making smaller ones like this, just keep an eye on them. You don't want them to get too freaking golden brown. I'm going to test these with a toothpick to make sure that they're cooked all the way through as well. So that is your tip if you're a new baker, because we welcome every cook, okay? I'm welcoming every cook, whether you have made your own muffins, you're starting to bake, whatever age it is. I always feel like there's always an opportunity to learn something new. I know I'm always freaking learning something new, okay? We're going to add that in. I feel like this is better with the mini ones. I would get my other mini scooper, but I just don't feel like doing it, you guys. I'll be honest with you. We're just going to do it this way. I don't want to dirty up something else. Usually that bigger scooper I feel like does better with the traditional muffin tin, but I wanted to make mini ones today. Again, for my little ones. All right, they're looking good. I hope I'm not making you too hungry, but that is also my goal, okay? It is and it isn't. I hope so and I do hope so. Sorry, not sorry, as they say. Let's put that in. It's like satisfying. It's so smooth. Oh, this batter is so satisfying. Okay, look at those babies. Okay, we're almost there. Now, if you hear an alarm in the back, this again is real time. My little ones are going to be starting to get up. for school, my older twos. And if we hear a little baby, it's okay. She's probably going to be waking up too. But this is real time, okay? We got a few more left. We got 4 more to get into the oven. Now I have, for some reason, 18 of these little babies, of these silicone ones. Okay. Do you guys hear that alarm? Do your kids also just sleep through the alarm or just let it keep going? Yeah, it's about what's going on right now in the backyard, background, if you can hear it. Ay, ay, ay. Mom life, I tell you. All right, we got 2 more to go, my friends. Now you'll notice this makes about 18 little mini ones is what I have. If you have the traditional muffin tin that you're using, it's going to make about 12. It depends on how much you want them to be filled. Okay, there we go. Let's add our next one here. Last one. Next is going to be our crumble that we're going to be making, you guys. Super simple. We're going to be using some butter, some brown sugar, and some regular sugar to get that going. So that is what we're going to do. Again, if you want to stop at this point, you can totally stop here and just have the blueberry muffins. They're still going to be just as good, but we're a little bit fancy over here. We're going to get that strudel that we're going to be, or that crumble on top, okay? The crumb topping, like I said, melted butter. So I'm going to get that melted butter. Here's our little tin. You will notice I am not using the traditional muffin tin because I don't have one for 18, okay? I have a traditional one for 12, and I'm not going to be using that. I particularly am just using that baking sheet, spreading them out evenly, so that way they don't crumble in and they just give me indents like this. I don't want that to happen to our muffins, okay? We're going to stretch these out on my baking sheet. Again, we're using what we got because that's what we do around here in the kitchen, okay? We're gonna spread them out like that. Now we're gonna make that crumble. Now we will need a separate bowl for this. I said 1 bowl for the muffins, which is true, but it's going to take another bowl for us to do this crumble, okay? So let's get this crumble going. I'm gonna come to the side. We're gonna get our butter melted. I particularly take about 30 minutes or so, 30, 35, give or take, depending obviously on your microwave, what it's gonna be for that particular butter. Now, use whatever butter is your preference. There are so many different dairy-free ones and options that are out there. I like baking with Country Crock. I like the Melt brand, the Mayeko's. One does well with this when it comes to baking. But again, make it comfortable for your home. I don't want to give you something that you guys don't want. So again, I'm in the background. I will be back in the screen. Give me just 1 second here because again, this is in live time. We're going to melt that butter for 35 seconds. Again, we don't want to overdo it. I'm going to get our bowl ready for us. So that way I can show you the other satisfying part, which is going to be making this crumble. This is where we get to feel like we're a kid again, and we get to literally play a little bit this morning to make that crumble. I'm gonna get me another mixing bowl. Sometimes you do have to take a little time and check your butter. Make sure it is thoroughly melted. Okay, I need to start this again. A few more seconds on that. For this crumble is going to be 1/3 cup of brown sugar and regular sugar, and we're going to add flour in as well. 1/4 cup of melted butter is going to be what we're using. Now I hear it popping over here, so I'm going to take this back out. Again, when it comes to the butter, you want it to be melted. You can see there's just a little bit left in there, but that's totally fine, okay? We're going to leave this to the side. I'm trying not to burn my fingers off. Now we're going to get these muffins over here. We're going to get our mixing bowl. Then we're going to start to add in our other ingredients. This is going to be, like I said, the butter, the brown sugar. So just like when you're baking any other time, you're going to want to use your dry ingredients, and then you're going to want to use your wet ingredients, okay? For this, we're going to be using 1/3 cup. Let me grab my 1/3 cup here of sugar. Again, I'm using a natural vegan sugar. I like the Zolka brand. I have every single thing. You see that chunk in there? I have every single thing as it relates to the ingredients, as well as what I'm actually using. I'm going to use that little chunk in there because it's driving me nuts. As it relates to ingredients, is on Amazon. So again, if you want to get, hey, the particular ingredients that I'm using or see what brand it is that I'm using, go ahead and check there, okay? Everything is listed. And yes, I see that chunk in there. And you're like, girl, you're going to leave that? No, I'm not going to leave it. Don't you worry. We need to have precision. I'm using and tapping the sugar just to make sure we are literally at the top. Give it a little bit of a wiggle of that 1/3. Again, Zilka brand is going to be a pure vegan sugar. A lot of the sugars that are out here, my friends, unfortunately is not pure. Pure sugars. They use animal bones to make it super white, and I don't want to be eating that, okay? Even if you're vegan or not, get that pure sugar. I promise you, the flavor is amazing. We're doing 1/3 cups of brown sugar as well. So let me get my brown sugar so we can pour that in there. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying this live, this impromptu live, okay? Like I said, if you are, let me know in those comments, because I promise you I will. If I got to start at 5 a.m., because I usually am doing stuff anyways at 5 a.m. and do these lives with you and cook with you guys, I will totally do it. Okay? We're going to add in that 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Again, when you know it's pure and organic, sometimes they're going to have a little bit more of those chunks. Just use your fingers and just break them apart. I feel like the whisk doesn't do it justice, so I just like to take my fingers with clean hands, of course, okay? We're not judging here. Clean hands, and we're just going to literally get that sugar, okay? And again, here comes the fun parts because we're going to be playing a little bit. It's going to feel a little bit like sand, okay? We're then going to add in our flour. We're using a 1/2 cup worth of flour for this particular recipe. Again, I know I'm probably sounding like an ad, but I cannot talk more and speak more about the beauty and the love that I have for this particular flour, which is by Bob's Red Meal, okay? Gonna get that spoon back out, okay? We're gonna measure. I'm not gonna dip it. We're going to measure. I like to use a spoon. Measured it into the cup. 1/2 cup of flour. We're gonna make sure we're precise here. Baking is about precision. I like to smooth it off the top like that. We have our flour, okay? I feel like I'm a little OCD. You see those lines in there? We're leveled, correct? Beauty. Okay, we're gonna put our flour to the side. We're gonna add in our flour to make the crumble, like that. Next thing that we're gonna add into this is going to be what? That butter. I didn't forget. Did you forget? I didn't. Here we go. Let's move that flour out of the way. Here we go. Here comes the satisfying part. Enjoy. Beautiful. Again, we're not about wasting no ingredients around here. So I'm going to get that spatula, and I can find where I put it right now, and I'm going to mix this up. That's right, Gwen, you still have that other spatula in the mix, so I got to get another one. My bad, my friends. We're scraping all that goodness out because, again, we're about precision. We need to get all that butter in there. Okay, like that. If you're enjoying, please give me that love, okay? Please. Here comes the satisfying part. You ready? Here we go. We are making the crumble, if you're just joining in, for our blueberry muffins. Okay. Now I will say I did add a little bit more of that butter, which means, again, I'm going to need to add a little bit more flour. I like my crumble to be a little bit more like, not like this, because it's almost like the crumb for, what do you call it? Peach cobbler. So you're going to see me fix this in real time. This should be a little bit more crumbly. I'm going to add a tablespoon worth of flour. I like it to be a little bit more buttery. For my recipe, I call for 1/4 cup. I gave it a 1/2 cup. See how this is getting a little bit more like that? I'm gonna add another tablespoon. This is how you correct things. Sometimes you need to just experiment. See how it's getting more chalky? That's what we want. Again, no need to write everything down because I do have it right there for you in that description for you. That's what we want. That is what you want. Again, if you like a little bit buttery, use 1 full stick worth of butter. 1/4 cup is usually what I do, but I did a little bit more this time with you guys on live. Again, if you want it to be a little bit like that, you like a little bit more buttery on your muffins, totally fine. Just add it and adjust with the flour like I did right now, and it's going to give you that tablespoon. See? Try to get it with the light so you guys can see it good. Okay? Scrape all those sides. Okay? And just keep working it. Again, this is going to be for the 18 mini muffins that we made right here. If you are wanting to use traditional muffin tins or papers, it will give you 12. I would say it depends on if you're going to go all the way to the top with the muffins. I particularly like to because I'm about presentation and I like it that way. But if you're not so bent out of shape on that, and add a little bit more because I feel like I wanted a little bit crunchier. Then you can probably, honestly get probably like 16 muffins out of it if you're not like feeling it all the way to the top. Okay? Again, do what's best for your home. Okay? Okay. We're done mixing that. We got our arm workout for this morning. Again, we're cleaning while we cook. We're going to get that flour out of the way. We're going to add that crumble on top of here. Okay? Here comes the satisfying part. Let me get this here. Because we're going to add that crumble. See that? You want it to be like that. It's almost, if you've ever made peach cobbler, it's going to be almost like that consistency of what you're using. Okay? Now we're going to go very light. Here, let me get this up close so you guys can see. Let me pull this over here. We're learning together, you guys, because I will be honest, I've not done it at this viewpoint, but I wanted you guys to feel like you're right here in my hands, literally cooking with me, okay? So we're learning together with these live streams, okay? And the more I do, we're going to get better and better together. See how that looks? Yum. Okay. Let me know if you guys are ready to see these. Okay. We're going to add those little crumble pieces in there. Just so like that. Okay. I know those blueberries, you're thinking, dang, girl, those blueberries are huge. I know. I was thinking the same thing, my friends. Look how good that looks. Okay. We can feel fancy, like we're, a little bake shop, okay? I want people to be like, dang, how'd you make those? Let's impress them, okay? Let me wipe my hand, because this is driving me nuts. I got sticky hands. Got that flour, y'all. Now this is a little, like I said, a little sticky, because obviously it's a crumble. But like I said, it kind of feels like better, right? Way better, okay. It kind of feels like you're playing in sand. I don't know. When you make it, you let me know. You come back to the comments and you let me know. Be like, girl, you're right. Okay, so we're adding just a little pinch worth. If you want to go all out with this crumble, I'm not judging you. It's okay. I'm not going to judge you. See that one that fell down? We're going to throw it right in there. Bam. Again, super simple muffin recipe, 1 bowl. Obviously, if you want to add the crumble, you're going to have to get another bowl. I'm sorry. But it's going to be worth it, I promise you. Okay? And they will look just like what the photo is on this particular video. Add those in. Again, we have the oven on already at 375. Obviously, keep an eye on them. It's going to depend on how and what size you're going to be making your muffins. These should take about 20 minutes, okay? 20 minutes in the oven. And then let them cool. I know that's the hardest part because it's going to smell freaking amazing. And you're going to be like, I want to eat them now. If you want to, again, we don't judge around here, okay? You could totally do that. Nice and warm by itself with a little bit of butter. That's how my son likes it. Look at that. Looking good. We're going to get those corners. Okay, we've got a few more to go, my friends. If you guys have any questions, leave them here for me. I do honestly try to respond to every freaking comment. I don't think I am missing any comments. So if you have questions and you're like stuck on something, let me know. Okay? I'm not that creator to not answer. I will answer you. Okay? Because I want you to be successful in the kitchen and in your home, feeding the babies. And if you don't got no babies, feeding your man. If you don't got no man, it's okay too, feeding yourself. Okay? Look at that. Super good. Okay. Now, as I'm working with this, you'll notice that we're almost to the bottom, right? So be careful and be mindful when you're adding the crumble that you're not overdoing it so you have enough for all the muffins. And you're like, girl, you forgot that one in the corner. I see her. There we go. Tap it in. Kind of have to do like a tapping motion to get those babies in there. Look how good that is. It's going to be looking fancy. You don't want these to get too golden brown on the top either. If you do, I mean, again, that's your thing. But I personally like to get them a nice golden crispy color. But I don't want to overdo it. And then they're just like hard and like gooey, if that makes sense. We don't want that. Okay. Add in that crumble. We got a few more to go, my friends. These are going to be good. Okay. Tap those in. All right. And then while these are baking, obviously, we got all the other stuff we got to put away, right? Our almond milk, our sugar, our flour, our baking powder. But again, a lot of my recipes, like this particular one, are going to be things that you probably already have on hand, and you didn't even know that you can make all this fanciness, okay? That's what I'm about. That's literally why I came up with Simply Dished. Dishing out the simple tips and recipes for you to be able to enjoy in your home. I don't think we need to be overcomplicated. I'm gonna add a little bit more on this one. At all when it comes to recipes. I don't think we need to have 50 pans to be cooking a dish. That's not my thing. That's not my jam. My thing is make it simple. A lot of delicious recipes have simple ingredients, in my opinion, and I'm about that. Okay, simple and delicious. Okay. That crumble was trying to pop out. Okay. So again, we're going to add these to the oven, 375, about 20 minutes, but keep an eye on these. You don't want to do all this work and then these bad boys are not looking good. Okay. Here's the close up of what we have made together. Again, we're going to add these to the oven for about 20 minutes. We're going to then enjoy them. I'm going to show you so you have an idea visually what you're looking at once those come in. You still have a little bit of crumble left as far as for remaking the rest of those particular muffins. Again, that crumble, you're going to want to have it at this consistency. Nothing drier than this, okay? Nothing drier. Do you see? I'm giving you the close-up here. Nothing drier than this. If you did, then you need to add a little bit more butter to your particular recipe, or you measured the freaking butter incorrectly. Again, follow everything when it comes to the freaking baking, because if not, then you got to adjust. Just like I had to adjust right here with the butter, I added a little bit more butter because I like my crumble to be a little bit more buttery goodness, okay? So if you're about that life, then adjust it like I did with about 2 to 3 spoonfuls worth of flour to give it just what we need to get it to this point, okay? You want it to that point. I know it's satisfying. You want me to press it for you, don't you? I'm going to. Just like that. I know, I'm crazy back here. I am. I will admit it. Okay, that's what you're gonna be looking like with your crumble. Now with your mixture for your batter, this is about what you have left if you're doing the mini muffins. Again, you still have a good amount. I would say at least maybe 3 or 4 more left to go when it comes to the particular muffins, okay? Again, everything will be listed for you guys in this description. I'm not gonna let you sit here for 20 minutes while these bake unless you guys want to. Let me know in the comments and I will totally do that. But we got 20 minutes for these particular muffins to bake at the 375. We're going to whip these muffins out and they're going to be cute. They're going to be delicious. And we did them in that one bowl, my friends. I promise you, you probably already have these ingredients. You just don't even know what to do. I'm going to get you all up in that camera. Look, all up in there. Don't look at my thumbs that have crumble on it. You didn't see that, okay? All up in there, okay? this is what we made. We have these mini muffins. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I really don't want to keep you here for 20 minutes. And no one's chatting with me here. Do you guys want to stay here for 20 minutes and see these? If not, I'm going to throw these into the oven, and it's going to be, what do they say, TV magic, YouTube magic, and they're going to be here, okay? Looking good. Do you guys want to stay here for 20 minutes? Because I could totally have you here while I cook and clean out and behind the scenes, and we can chat. You guys let me know. I'm going to throw these into the oven. You guys got a few seconds to let me know. If you guys want me to keep you here for the 20 minutes so you can see the finished product, we can totally do that. I am going to add the timer. Can you guys hear that? To 20 minutes. Okay? I'm going to do 22. For this, I call 20 to 25 minutes, and I am thinking about 22. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay? You guys are awfully quiet. I'm going to leave this here for you guys. I'm going to hang out with you guys. Why not? Okay? Hopefully the battery doesn't die. I think we're good, though. We're going to stay here. We got 22 minutes. If you guys have questions related to this particular recipe, general questions as relates to baking vegan goods, and you're like, I don't know what to start with, I promise you, these muffins, a lot of my recipes that you're going to see here, they are not going to call for eggs. A lot of people in the comments, I will say, that's one of the things I see on this particular video, are always asking, like, Gwen, no eggs for muffins? No, I promise you, you will not miss the eggs in this particular recipe at all. And this is coming from someone who used to eat eggs, okay? You will not miss it in this recipe. It is this, again, this particular base of this recipe is just delicious. Like I said, it's delicious, and it's just, even my non-vegan friends want this particular recipe. I'll just put it that way, okay? We're going to start putting our stuff away because we're trying to be clean around here. Not trying to. We are clean, and we're tidy. So we're going to clean up because you guys didn't talk and say that you didn't want to stay here. So we're going to clean up, and we're going to hang out. And then you're going to see what these muffins look like, to see what the final result is, okay? If you're just joining in, hey there. Hey there, hey there. We're just chatting at this point, and we're waiting on our muffins. I'm cleaning up our cornstarch, our almond milk that we use for this particular recipe. I will say almond milk does very well. We're obviously using in the recipe, but if you also are a fan of soy milk, a lot of my baked recipes, I've noticed that I really like the consistency that soy milk gives me when I'm baking, okay? It is amazing when you're baking. So that's a little tip for you that I wanted to share, because it almost acts like a buttermilk. And you can make your own buttermilk with soy milk if you just use a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So if you're wanting that kind of consistency in your baking or in your cooking, when it comes to trying to eliminate just dairy, regular dairy, that is what I do to make my baked goods have that consistency. Or even if you're like making pancakes or something like that and you want like that buttermilk pancake consistency, okay? So another little tip for you guys, okay? I'm here with the tips. I'm just saying. I feel like a lot of times people are hesitant to either bake or to get outside of their normal bubble with cooking. And I'm hoping that my page helps you be a little bit more mindful and also inspires you to kind of test new things when it comes to your cooking. Because cooking can be fun. And that's what I'm hoping to be able to bring to you guys, okay? So again, you're just joining, I appreciate you guys. If you've been hanging out with me, I appreciate you as well, because you could be doing other things in your morning. And we've been rocking with each other for how long now? Let's see, 49 minutes. I can't even believe it that we've been hanging out that long, okay? I appreciate your guys' time. Again, we got our muffins, we got our crumble, we're waiting, we're putting the flour away, we're putting our cups away. Okay? Because you guys said you did not want to hang out with me, so I'm going to assume that you did want to hang out with me, okay? Because I'm appreciative of that. The sun looks like it's peeking outside the window here in Southern California, slowly but surely, okay? Like I said, we're doing all the things. Let me know if you guys can still hear me, okay? I got you on my mic here. You're probably hearing me doing all the things in the background. Because this mama has to start getting these kids ready for school. Okay, we're gonna get that flour out the way. Our salt, our baking powder. Again, make sure you are checking your ingredients this baking season. Do not be making recipes and you have expired vanilla, expired flour. Okay, look at those dates, please, my friends. I don't want you to go through all this trouble of an energy, getting your stuff together and then getting a cute muffin tin or cute little baggies to put your baked goods in, and then you're like tasting it and you're like, what happened? This does not look or taste like what Gwen shared with me. Okay, I don't want to get the blame if it's something simple like that. Okay, I want to be getting the credit. Okay, give the credit where credit's due and be like, oh, my girl on YouTube, Gwen, helped me with this recipe and everybody's loving my muffins. Okay. Everybody's loving my food. That's what I like to hear. Okay. I don't want to hear about, oh, these muffins didn't rise or whatever the case may be. We don't want that. Okay. We don't want that at all. We want good food, good vibes. Okay. So I got to put my brown sugar away. Again, if you can't or don't have access to the organic stuff, I get it. I totally get it. I personally like to get a lot of my ingredients and I source them kind of differently. Like my brown sugar, I have an organic brown sugar that I get at the Costco, which is local to me. Look what you have. Use what you have. If you don't have an organic brown sugar, is this recipe still going to come out good? Of course. Is it going to come out just as good with another flour? Of course. But I'm just giving you my preferences and my ingredients that I'm using in real time, because I know I get asked a lot, like, hey, is this one particular worth it? Blah, blah, blah. I have used this particular flour, like I said, the Bob's Red Meal, for like the last year and a half, and I will not go to any other flour. My husband knows if I send him to the grocery store, it's going to be, and he's getting flour, he already knows I better just buy this flour because she's going to like go crazy. That's how I feel, okay? There's some things that I'm very budget friendly on, and there's some things that I'm like, I'm not going to compromise on. I will spend the extra couple of bucks, you know what I mean, for a better quality ingredients. I like to particularly make sure that I have fresh blueberries. Like, these aren't organic blueberries, but I do try to make sure that I also take the time to look at where is it being sourced from. Like I shared, I'm in Southern California, and we're kind of spoiled here. Not kind of, we are. Okay, we're spoiled here in the fact that we can grow a lot of foods. I like to share that also here on the channel, is recipes that are using my seasonal ingredients or stuff that I'm cooking or I'm growing, I'm sorry. And, I would say if you're not growing your own food, that's fine. But you definitely want to take the time to actually look at the packaging and see where your food is coming from. For the freshness and whatnot of your food, okay? And I will say, we are 15 minutes in. We got 15 more minutes, my friends, for these muffins, and they are smelling good already. It will brighten up your day with these muffins, okay? I promise you. Now, if you want to store these, I like to store them in an airtight container. They will store for about 3 days if you're leaving them on the counter. So that's something to note as well if you're wanting to make these ahead of time, or gift these to somebody, like I said, as a homemade gift. You could totally do that. But again, about 3-4 days if they last that long in your house. These don't last long in my house at all. I make them and then my little babies will tear them up. Okay? So again, thank you for being with me this morning as I'm now cleaning up the kitchen in the back here. We're cleaning, and you're getting a little water ASMR, okay? While we sit and chat and we wait on these muffins. Now, when you pull them out, like I mentioned earlier, you are going to want them to let them sit for a little bit. And then you'll add the rest of that batter that we have there and the rest of the crumble onto those last set of muffins. The silicone molds that I'm using, I have ones that are similar on my Amazon storefront. So if you're also looking to kind of just save and not have to always buy, the liners, I have found that I really like the silicone ones. They have held up very well. I like to make the smaller ones from time to time, like I said, for my little ones to enjoy. But if you don't have that and you just want to use the actual tin itself, the muffin tin itself, just use the muffin tin. You can do that. Just make sure it is well distributed with the cooking spray on it so they don't get stuck in there, okay? The photo that I have on this particular video or this live stream is going to be with the regular size muffin tin that I use for this particular recipe. I, again, get about 14 muffins or so with that particular recipe if I'm filling them all the way to the top. I like them to be all the way to the top. If you're not that way and you want them to kind of just trying to stretch them a little bit, you could go halfway into the muffin tin, and that way you get a little bit more muffins in there. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. We're almost done with the cleaning. Got a couple more measuring cups to go. We got the whisk to clean. But again, not too many things that you need for this. Got 4 measuring cups and like 3, 2 teaspoons and a tablespoon. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. It could be worse, right? Could be worse. All right. We're looking good. Kitchen's looking good. Hope you guys are feeling good and looking good for this morning. Hey, let me know what you're making this morning or plan on making for the day and enjoying. Thinking that I might put in some seasonal potatoes that I have to reheat in the oven for my little ones as they get ready for school. I can't believe we're, like I said, already freaking most of the month is already, most of this year, what am I talking about? Most of this year is already almost done. Yeah, my hands are red because I like hot water. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it yet. But here we are, right? We're doing our best, everyone. All right. We got about 10 minutes on the muffins. I wish we had smell vision so that way you can smell what these smell like. But I promise you, it's going to have everybody like, where is those muffins? Okay. I'm honestly on the fence, so I don't have to like sit here and wait just to throw these into a little tin and call it a day. I think I might have some paper ones that I could throw in there, and that way they're done and ready to go. Let me look in my stash of all my cooking stuff so that I don't have to wait on those. I honestly don't use the liners a whole lot unless, like I said, I'm gifting something or muffins to someone. I really don't mess around with them anymore. I used to, and I grew up with my mom really using them, but as I'm baking and as I have had my own family, I don't really use them that often. Let me know if you guys do. I'm like looking and seeing if I even have them. I don't even know if I have any more liners, but we're going to look together because we got a little bit of time to wait for the stuff over here, the muffins. I'm like looking in my pantry. Do you ever just go into your pantry and you're like, I know where it's at. I keep it super tidy and organized, but then my kiddos, my youngest likes to get into the stuff in the pantry now because it's like right at her level. She is going to be 2 here come January, and it's like she likes to come into mommy's stuff because it's like at her level and move stuff around. I don't think I have any of those liners. I'm like looking, but I don't see any. Darn it. Okay, well, I don't want to have to clean the muffin tin again. We're trying to eliminate having to do extra work this morning. Hence why we are doing the one bowl of muffins, right? We don't want more dishes, right? Team, no more dishes, right? Team, no more dishes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to scrape this, get this prepared for when our muffins come out, which I appreciate you rocking with me, even though you guys are quiet and shy, okay? Besides Cherry, Skiz, 143. You guys have been so quiet. I hope I'm entertaining you guys, okay? Hope I'm entertaining you guys. Must be, because you guys are still rocking with me, so I appreciate you. All right. We're going to get all that off of there because we need to make sure we have enough to get our last little bit of muffins. And again, we don't waste around anything in this kitchen. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking at least another 3-4 muffins we're going to be good here. Okay. Same with the crumble. We should have plenty of the crumble to be able to add into the muffins in their tins. So we should be good there. Okay. We're getting closer. We got 7 minutes, my friends. Just whipping everything out. I also have a little pot going on in the back. If you guys hear that, it's a pot of beans, which I have my bean recipe here as well. So we have those ready and going. I don't know about you, but I feel like when I wake up early, I don't know, before the kiddos do, I get so much more done, right? Any fellow parents, that you guys understand what I'm saying, right? I feel like I get so much more done. Like today, I woke up at 4 and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make muffins. I think I'm going to come live and share with you. And here we are, you guys, an hour freaking later, literally. And we have made our muffins. They are almost done. We've cleaned the kitchen. We got all the things ready to go and to be able to enjoy. Like I said, I think, oh, that's what I was going to do, guys. I got 6 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and add in and make my kiddos also a little thing of potatoes. I'm going to throw those into the oven. Now, these ones are frozen. I didn't do these ones, but y'all, it's okay. We're going to cook these and throw them in. I'm just going to show you what else we're going to whip up this morning. Why not? Okay. Why not? So I like these. You see these at your local Walmart. I absolutely love these. My kids are in love with these as well. The Yukon Gold potatoes with peppers. I add a little bit of olive oil to a pan. We're going to make these together. Why not? We're going to throw these in. I like that they're already seasoned. I add a little bit of olive oil to this. Let me get in here into frame. On school mornings when we're trying to make breakfast and get out the door. This is a quick and easy one, okay? We're going to add in a little bit of olive oil to this and a dash of salt. I'd say like less than a half teaspoon of salt. We're going to do that. Now my oven does have the capability to give me that crispy mode. So as these are finishing up the 5 minutes that we have on the muffins, we're going to get those potatoes in there and then we're going to switch it to that crispy mode, which is amazing. You can put them on bake like normal, but I'm going to go ahead and add in that crispy mode. So we got some crispy potatoes for the kids to be able to eat this morning and to enjoy, okay? So again, this was not what I was planning on showing you guys, but since we got a few more minutes, I'm going to show you guys. When it comes to olive oil, when you're shopping, I do like to get the cold pressed olive oil. That is one of the best quality olive oils that you can get out there. Look for that. Again, I'm not here pushing either way, but if you can spend the extra few coins, check and see that it's cold extracted. And I get this at obviously Costco, and it is organic, USDA organic. Like I said, there's some things like the blueberries. I didn't get organic blueberries for this particular recipe. However, again, if you want to spend the extra, or if you can't afford to, because groceries, I understand, are ridiculous, and we are trying to eat budget friendly as well. But good. Budget friendly doesn't mean we're not eating good around here, okay? Then that's also what we're trying to be mindful of, okay? We're gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm using a sea salt. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna massage these because they're frozen, and as they kind of cook together, I wanna make sure all those potatoes are coated. Now, could I be chopping up all these potatoes this morning? Absolutely, and I do at times. But I also think that there's a balance, right? Like we made scratch muffins this morning. We're also going to have these potatoes. They're already frozen. I already have the bell peppers. My kids are getting bell peppers. They're getting onions. They're getting potatoes to go with their muffins for this morning. We got to save our time, right? We do. We got to save our time and pick our battle. So again, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to throw these in the oven as well. We got 3 minutes on the muffins. I'm going to check them. We put it at 22 minutes. They are smelling good. We got the things bubbling and crisping in here. I'm looking at them, and while you're looking at your muffins to see if they're done, you definitely want to make sure, obviously, they're nice and golden brown, and it looks like we need a few more minutes on these guys. I'm going to bump it up to another 5 minutes or so. Again, checking throughout to make sure that we're not overdoing it with our muffins, that they're nice and cooked thoroughly. I like to use a toothpick and poking them in the center to make sure that they come out clean. That is what we want, is for them to come out nice and clean when it comes to our potatoes. Okay, I'm going to set a separate timer for those potatoes. Those potatoes are going to go in for another 20 minutes. I'm going to get my watch back on here so that way I can set my timer because I don't have multiple timers in here. So we're going to set a timer for that. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Now that 20-minute timer will be for our potatoes. Okay, so see, we are getting multiple things done. All right, this is how we do it around here. We got to be multitasking. So again, our potatoes are in. We got about 4 minutes. I'm going to add 4 more minutes onto our muffins. I'm going to bring them over here so that way you can actually see the final result with those particular muffins. Again, you do not want to take them out of their silicone until they are completely done. You want to let them settle, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Meanwhile, we're going to put our other ingredients away, which is going to be our olive oil, and that is also going to be our salt. We're almost there. Oh, they smell good. All right, we're going to get our mittens ready so we can pull them out. And I don't want to mess up my beautiful stone here, so we are going to get our stuff ready. So that way, we got our mitts ready. Get our stuff out the way here. If you're just joining, we made blueberry muffins today. I want to say that they're the best blueberry muffins because they're my blueberry muffins. I will say that others have said the same about this particular recipe. Again, versatile. You're able to use whatever fruit you have on hand, peaches, strawberries. The base of this particular recipe is very versatile. Use whatever you have on hand. Which obviously with YouTube, we're all around the world, right? So use whatever it is that you have on hand. We have 3 minutes as far as the muffins go. I'm going to get my stuff ready so that way we can check these muffins. Instead of reusing a toothpick all the time, I have this little metal. It's like one of those, what are they called? When you do like the marshmallows. You know what I'm saying? You put the marshmallows on it. I don't even know if it has technically a name, but I like to use this instead of using a million toothpicks and reusing them multiple times. I clean this and I use it to test my baking, okay? And I don't have to get my fingers all in there. So 2 more minutes on those muffins, and we're gonna check the muffins and see if they are ready. Again, we did mini muffins today, so it's gonna be a little bit less time when it comes to baking them. But again, we have to be mindful. We also have that crumble on top, so we do not want to overdo it, overcook those muffins, okay? Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to rotate. I hear the blueberry sizzling in here. I'm going to rotate the muffins as well. And the reason being is sometimes your oven doesn't cook or distribute evenly. So I want to make sure that we get all that action, okay? We're on the final few seconds of this. I'll give it a few more seconds, you guys, because I just flipped it. All right, I'm gonna pull these out so you guys can see, because I want you guys to also be, again, learning, again, because this is what my channel is about, okay? We're all learning at different levels of cooking. We'll move this back. Let's put those muffins down, okay? See how these are, they look like they're good and done, but they're not, I can tell. And I want to show you this teachable moment, okay? So right now, you can see the blueberries are starting to ooze out, which is good. We like that, right? But when I put this in, it's going to come out not clean. Watch. Still going to have a little bit of a speck. Do you see that? We don't want that. We still need a little bit more time on these blueberry muffins, but we're getting there. We are getting there, okay? Nice and golden. Yes, I'm touching this, and you're like probably wondering how am I doing it, because I have hot hands, okay? Don't judge me here. We are almost to that point from cooking so many years. Now, when it's like this and they start to come up, one of the things that I like to do, especially when I'm making the mini ones, is I have to sometimes readjust these so that way we don't get creases on the corners of each of the blueberry muffins, if that makes sense. Okay, we don't want that. We want to make sure that they have a nice presentation, that they're good, and they're cooked throughout. This muffin, as you can see, is starting to have a little bit of a lip where it's coming out like that. That's fine. Just be mindful, okay? Again, I'm going to add these into the oven for a little bit longer, but again, I wanted to show you what they are looking like at this stage. So if you are also cooking and making this recipe, you're not like, okay, it said 25 minutes, 22 minutes. You know, do I need to take them out? No. Again, test it always. Looks like a little piece of crumble came off this one. See, look how good that looks. Crispiness. That's what this crumble does. It makes it nice and crispy on top of your muffins, okay? Like the fancy bake shops. Do make sure that you test you don't need to test each of them. I mean, but for the most part, you can see, okay, it's still doughy. I need to put that back in there, okay? So if you see this, put it back in the oven. We're gonna add another 3 minutes for this to make sure that we're good to go, okay? We don't want people biting into a doughy mess, okay? But they are getting there. They're still looking good, okay? Let's throw it back in the oven. Potatoes are already smelling freaking good in here. We're gonna add another 3 or 4 minutes on those muffins, and we'll retest it and recheck. Again, know that the recipe is a guide at the end of the day. It is a guide for us. So I'm gonna give you obviously the basics of what it is to make the recipe, to make the batter and whatnot. But when it comes to baking, that is one of the things you have kind of the guide to say, okay, this batter is what I need. This is going to be precise with baking. When it comes to the time, everybody's oven is going to be different, older, younger, whatever the case may be. So you need to be mindful of that when it comes to your baking, because it's going to make or break. And you do not want it to be a situation where you're literally like, okay, you did all that work and then you either overcooked it and they're hard, they're not moist muffins, which we want a nice moist muffin, or it's going to be burnt, and we don't want that. You don't want to waste all your time of measuring and all this and that and gathering everything, and then you have a burnt muffin, a burnt cake, whatever the case may be. Now, you do want those crispy bits, okay? I don't know about you, but I'm team crispy bits when it comes to my muffins, just a little bit crispy on the top. We do want to make sure that we have that, okay? So we got 3 more minutes, and then we're going to pull those muffins back out, see how we're doing. We're going to retest this. What we're going to do is we're going to clean our little stick that we like to use. If you don't have one of these, and like I said, this is just what I use, so I don't have to use multiple toothpicks. I will clean this off, come back into the camera so that way you guys can see the finished result, and we have a fresh one to actually pick. But again, you do not want your muffins to have that in the center of them, and you don't want to have that, especially also when you're making like cakes and stuff, okay? Again, I like to teach you from the very basic tips to making the batters, making the crumble, making the stuff, so that way you're successful when you're coming to cook, okay, for yourself or your loved ones. Let's clean this off. Sorry, I sound a little snuffly now. Jeez Louise, my allergies are kicking my butt. All right, we got 2 minutes, my friends. Okay, 2 minutes. Are you guys ready? Because I'm ready. Now, what I'm also going to get is just my baking sheet. Not my baking sheet. Oh, I said the wrong thing here. I'm going to get my, what is it? My cookie sheet. I lost my words for a second. I'm trying to grab it out of here. Again, when I'm using the silicone ones, I don't like to take them out until they're cooled for at least like 5 minutes or so. We're going to move this stuff out of the way. Okay. Try to move this over here. But when they are ready to come out, which I'm going to do it for demonstration purposes just to show you, do not do this. Let them sit in their silicone. I'm going to put it on here so they have a rack, and then I will flip each one of the muffins onto this particular rack, so that way they have a nice cookie sheet or cooling rack to be on and to dry. Okay, a few more seconds here. Time is going, guys. Time is going. All right, we're on the countdown. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's going to beep on us. And we're going to check these babies. Now they're looking nice and golden. Let me pull it over here for you guys to see. Give me 1 second here. All right, my friends. So again, I know there's a lot of people out there that claim they have the best muffins. I'm going to say that my muffins are the best muffins, and I hope that you say the same, okay? 1 bowl, blueberry muffins. This is what we made today, okay? Fresh out of the oven. These are super hot, so if you're like, girl, you're touching them super easily, yes, I have those hands, like I said. Woo, that one's still not done. We still need some more time, and I think this is a great time to share with you guys, especially when you're using fresh blueberries, I'm sorry, for your muffins, and any fruit for that matter. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit more time because they're super fresh. Make sure that your blueberries, make sure that your peaches, make sure whatever you're using, they are nice and drained out. These ones are really, as you can see, they really exploded. So they're going to need a little bit of extra time with them, and that's fine. Just plop them back in. Let's put our pick back in here and test it. See, it came out clear. That one still has a little bit of blueberries that are gushing out of it. You see that? Get you into focus. Okay. So we're going to test them. Again, be careful with your crumble. You're going to need to adjust. See, for the most part, they're done. I would say a few more seconds. And then we're going to let these babies literally sit for a minute. Okay. Looking good though. I'm going all the way throughout. Again, testing and seeing. Are they ready? Excuse me. My allergies here, guys. They're all looking good though, okay? That's what we want to see. I like them a little bit more golden when it comes to the muffins, okay? Get you guys a close-up. See how some are light brown? I like them a little bit more golden. We have a few more minutes on these. Okay, again, you have to adjust your time. Sometimes when it comes to your food, your muffins, your baking, but do not adjust the base of what the recipe is. You're going to run into these things. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is, my friends. Okay. So we're going to wait for those for the 4 more minutes. If you guys have questions, like I said, I am here. I'm an open book. I hope that you feel welcomed into my kitchen because you truly are. I don't want to feel or make anybody feel like it's intimidating to bake, intimidating to cook, any of the sorts. My channel is definitely here to help you, no matter what your age is and your cooking level. Okay, we're here to learn. Okay, so we have the rest of this batter. We will get to it. Like I said, these were some very large, as you can see, very large blueberries. So they're taking a little bit more time to cook because of this batter, not the batter, because of the blueberries. So they exploded a little bit more. Obviously, we can't get all the water out of the actual blueberries. I have not tested this recipe with dried ingredients. That might be something that I test and see. How do the dry blueberries do in this particular recipe, or dried strawberries or something like that of that sort? I would think that they would work just as good, but I would have to, again, test it and see, does it work? Does it not work? What are we looking at? Okay. So nonetheless, we will wait our 3 minutes and see. So that way we can get the final product of what they look like. Nice and golden, nice and delicious blueberry muffins for us to be able to enjoy. Okay. We got 3 minutes, my friends. Again, we are nice and cleaned up in the background. We got everything ready to go. We got the potatoes going in there for the kids. I hear my kids in the background starting to wake up because it is school time again. It feels like Thanksgiving break went pretty freaking fast. I don't know about for you guys, but it feels like it went fast for us. Then we'll be back to Christmas break already. It's crazy. All right, my friends, 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the clock. Still with me? Are you guys still live out there? We're at 7 a.m. It is now no longer dark outside as I peek outside. The sun is slowly coming up here in Southern California. It's kind of cloudy, a little overcast this morning. Little overcast, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? All right. Again, peeking in the oven. As you can hear, we're on the countdown. 56, 55, 54, 53, 52. And we're counting down. I feel like with this recipe too, I could easily bump up that temperature from 375 to 400, but I do have a newer oven and I don't honestly want to chance it with this particular recipe. Like I said, if I have to put it in there and let them cook nice, slow, low and slow with this recipe, so be it. Because I have tested with this new oven that I have, and man, it just sometimes it's a hit or miss, and I do not want to mess up the muffins that I so much eagerly want for myself and also for the family. If you want to test and do that, more than welcome to do it because it's your home. Make it comfortable for your home, but I'm not going to do it, my friends. All right, you hear that sound? That means the timer is ready to go. Again, adjust the temperature as needed. Keep the base of the recipe. Oh yeah. I literally have my glasses on and it's steaming them up right now. That's your visual, okay? All right. I think we're there. You guys want to see the final thing? Nice and delicious. I'm trying not to burn my fingers off here. Nice and delicious muffins, okay? Nice golden brown. You don't want them to be overly done, okay? Again, don't overly do it. We don't want that. We don't need that in our life, okay? These are going to be 18 mini muffins that we made today. I hope that you enjoyed this live. I enjoyed cooking with you and starting my morning with you guys here in the SimpliDished kitchen, okay? I am going to let these sit. They are ready to go. I can already tell by the goldenness of these particular muffins. We're going to be good now. Look, Let's test it again. Again, take a toothpick. I like to use one of these little, I don't want to call it a little poker, but I forgot what these are called. Leave it in the comments because your girl can't remember right now and it's still early. I like to use these from the marshmallows when you're doing s'mores and stuff. I like to keep one of these and I like to just test my food, especially when I'm baking. Okay. Again, if you want it to be a little bit more golden brown, again, adjust the time, put in a few more seconds. I'm going to let these sit because I don't want them to be overly cooked either. I'm going to let these sit in their silicone trays, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my cooling rack once it comes time to do so, okay? As always, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience and coming to be with me. Watch this live, as well as if you're watching this replay, I enjoy and appreciate you also coming in for the replay to see what we made on the live stream. Make sure if you are not already and you're new here to the Simply Dish community, I welcome you. This is growing and I'm so excited for it to continue to grow. If you enjoyed this live stream, which I hope you did, please share it with a friend. Please share the recipes. Please like and also comment. It helps me a great deal. And also my family behind the scenes to do so. And it is absolutely free. So I appreciate your guys' time today. I hope that you enjoyed making these simple one bowl, my best blueberry muffin recipe. Okay. Hope you enjoy it. These are going to be super delicious for you, your family, for the holidays. I hope you enjoy this baking season. I will be back. I'm not sure when. So again, make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you are also having that bell notification on. And I will continue to be sharing recipes all throughout this holiday season. I'm behind the camera today because your girl, we've been rocking and cooking since 5 a.m. I got to go get dressed now. But next time we will be doing our next live stream. I hope you enjoyed. Okay. I shall see you. And see, there goes my other alarm for the potatoes. I shall see you guys soon because I got to go get the babies ready for school. Hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. Bye, guys. See you next time.